Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another video in the Hillbilly repair shop. And today we have the 22-inch recycler from Toro, which has been my go-to mower for a few years. It's a pretty large property here, and I don't feel like investing in a riding mower, and the push mowers provide a bit of exercise too, which is nice. But I've got a problem with this unit. Late last fall, I was cutting the back, and I must have hit a very heavy stone. It kicked up and it shattered the shroud that surrounds the front wheel here, as well as fracturing that drive wheel. It is a front wheel drive unit, so it's really nice. It pulls you along as you're cutting the grass. Problem is, I just went and put the gear wheel back on, but I did not fashion a shroud to keep material from going into the gears, and therein lays the problem. We need to fashion something that we can put on there to keep the debris from collecting on the gear wheel, between the gear wheel itself, the drive wheel, and the outside propelling wheel here. I'll show you what I mean. If you look at this drive wheel, you can see that white shroud, and what that actually does is it prevents material from collecting inside. Grass, dirt, things like that get kicked up, and it gets so bad after about 15 minutes that it just stops the wheel from turning, and that's a big problem on a front wheel drive unit. If you look on this side, you can see that I mounted that without a shroud. And when I remove that wheel, you'll be able to see the debris that's collected inside. There's a good example of what happens when the debris gets stuck in there. Eventually it chokes up the gears and prevents them from propelling the unit forward. So I need to clean this up and fashion something that's going to go on the back of this that can be captured in place and won't spin around, but it'll keep the debris from getting in here. So the first thing I want to do is clean this up on the inside. Okay, I'm going to get a thinner bladed screwdriver to be able to pry that material out. Looks pretty good. Good to go. Now it's time to think about how we're going to fasten the shroud. The shroud is going to need a cutout to go over top, to fit over top of this drive wheel here. And it's going to have to be something that's going to be mounted. We'll probably have to sacrifice this part of it. I like the level that the mower is set, so we can probably pin that back with a screw once we fashion it. I'm going to kind of use this as a template here for the size of the shroud. Let's go see if we can find some metal. I lay my hand on a piece of metal, but I like this top of the coffee can that I have. It seems to be a pretty nice fit, and if I can cut out the center of that and get that to sit flat on there, I think that might do a pretty good job of securing that in place. So let's center cut that so it goes down on this center part of the drive wheel, with allowing for the spoke part of it, the axle part of it, to be above the surface there. This should be a pretty good fit. Next, we're going to drill down through here, and here. We're going to get a couple screws to mount through there, so that this will be held in place, and this will move as one assembly as it goes along the ground. Actually, before we even do that, we should fit that, because this may be captured in place, and if I cut this back a little more over here, this just might permanently sit there when it's attached and not need any other finagling with it. So let me cut this back a little more so that it's a little bit of a looser fit. I have a feeling once we get the gear wheel, once we get this remounted, it needs a little more cut back there, that this should pretty much hold in place. At least that's my hope anyway. before I mount it, I really should clean up this drive gear a little bit better so it sits good on there. Next, we need to cut our hole in here for what's going to be so that the drive gear will fit through the back of this, and I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Position it and try to eyeball that. It's like a great cutout for that. So now it is time to mount up our bolt and see how we go here. Amazing, I even got color matching skills there. I'm liking the way that's laying on there. So I think that that's going to provide a good degree of protection against debris getting on the inside. But the only way to know is to field test that. Just turned it over. You can see there's a ton of moldy debris on here. I'm going to put a mask on. I need to scrape that all out. So we're getting maximum effort on discharging grass. Welcome back. I picked up some fresh gasoline for the season today. I do use the high octane gas. So let's go ahead and fire up. Give me a close-up of the shroud now. Now the reason I like the plastic top of the coffee can, it was easy. If it doesn't work, it was like 5 minutes work. It also has a little give to it. It's not going to shatter if something hits it. Being pretty flexible plastic, whatever hits it should sort of bounce off and come outside again. So I'm going to go out in the field, do some cutting. We're going to conclude this video, and I want to thank you guys for being along for another Hillbilly repair shop here on the Rancho. When you're trying to save money, there's nothing wrong with being a little bit hillbilly, a little bit creative in the workshop. Thumbs up are appreciated, everybody. Beautiful. I haven't had to stop one time to clean out that gear wheel. We're going to call this project a total success. Woo!